There's a theme about the coronavirus pandemic that I'm seeing developing in quite a few countries now, about rules and responsibilities. The theme that people seem to forget, particularly it seems politicians, is that the rules are not necessarily set by people. The foundations for those rules are set by the virus itself. It's not just something we can casually ignore. It's not something we can control. It's about how the virus operates. This is why the importance of science in all of these spaces. But politics seems to be coming into this in some quite nasty ways, and we need to be thinking much more carefully about what we actually mean by rules, why and where. The foundation of an organisation, as we learn in enterprise architecture, is that it's bounded by rules, roles and responsibilities. That we have roles to enact rules and we have responsibilities to each other to make it work. And it's that to each other that's so important. Because the fundamental problem we keep seeing is that breaking the rules, we have the whole issue of what we might call the Freerider problem, which is basically other people can follow the rules, I'll do what the hell I like. Now, you can do that to some extent in a politics-derived environment, but you can't do it in a virus-dominated environment. The rules are not ones that we can casually break. But rules are essentially social. They're we first, if you like. They're about responsibilities to each other. Wearing a mask is not necessarily about protecting yourself, it's actually about protecting others. And whereas the Freerider is focused primarily on the self, the me first approach, rather than the we first. The problem is that Freeriders break trust in social rules. The more that individuals ignore the rules, the more it implies that the rules don't matter. And that's a very dangerous position to be in, because it places everyone at risk. Now, this particularly applies if those who set the rules, particularly politicians and others, those who set the rules do not themselves follow the rules. That's one of the quickest ways to destroy mutual trust across a societal context. Now, we see the same issue arising with organisations. Organisations have a very high tendency, because they're so rule-bound, there's a very high tendency for the Freerider problem to raise its head. We see a lot of this in things like one-sided terms and conditions, which I find it useful to reframe as trusts and commitments. It's not helpful to think of it as a control mechanism where we are controlling others for our benefit. It also leads to things like dysfunctional hierarchies, a problem that I sometimes describe as insuperordination, where the manager has no understanding of what's going on and is breaking their responsibilities to the staff who are within their reporting domain. So we need to understand insubordination in context of insuperordination in order to understand how it works. Responsibilities are always mutual and they always need interlocks, checks and balances. So when, as occurred recently in Britain, where a certain political advisor flaunted the rules that he himself made and then proceeded to mock everyone else for complaining that he'd broken them, this destroyed trust almost totally. And the result is going to be that very large numbers of people, not just a few people, but very large numbers of people are likely to die in very nasty ways as a result of the destruction of trust. So these are absolutely non-trivial. But the same issues apply not only in organisations but society as a whole, where we have one-sided rules, as in that case where the political class are entitled to ignore the rules, whereas everyone else must follow them for the safety of the political class, as well as everyone else. We have it in structures which define some people as subordinate, as some people have rights, others have responsibilities, particularly on a class or whatever basis, on a category basis. So we need to be really careful, because where we have the Freerider problem running unchecked, it leads to institutionalised theft or life theft. It leads to institutionalised abuse, in some cases even to institutionalised violence. These are not good things to have as a structure. So we need to be really careful about seeing how rules operate and ensuring that everyone accepts their responsibility that goes with those rules and why those rules exist.